Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this conversation. My name is Nelson, and I'm super excited to have our guest, Adam Dare. Adam Dare of Own Your Fitness in the New York City area. Let me tell you a little bit about my guest. He's not only a personal trainer, he's an entrepreneur, a public speaker. He's done seminars. He also has a black belt, an incredible, influential person within the community. And I'm so excited to have you, Adam. How are you doing today?
I'm well, Nelson, making the best of everything. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you so much. So for our guest, Adam, tell me what is Own Your Fitness and what exactly do you do?
So, Own Your Fitness is a philosophy. What that really means is that all the challenges and the struggles that we face, I embrace them and turn them into my strength. So, an example would be how someone can take their fitness goal, embrace it, whether it be weight loss challenge, whether it be putting on muscle, whether it be broader fitness. That's some sort of a challenge or an event they want to overcome. And they own it. They're accountable. They're self-aware. They're taking the initiative moving forward, taking that step to do well at it. That's what Own Your Fitness is. And until you take full responsibility of your own dialogue that's going on in your head, you will not be able to get results. And the reason for that is because in personal training, as you're a PT as well, you've noticed people come to us when things usually are not going well. When people are not getting the results from the apps or going to a boot camp or not able to figure out how to get in shape provided they're living in a busy lifestyle. And, the working professionals, the moms and all that stuff, no, and they're not able to do that. When they come to us, we're usually the problem solvers, right?
Yes.
And that step where people come to coaches like us, that's owning their own self-awareness. Like they're at a point where they realize, I'm just not going to get this on my own. I need to hire a professional and work with someone that's going to guide me, hold me accountable, and supervise me and mentor me on how to becoming a better version of myself. So that's what Own Your Fitness is all about.
I think that's beautiful. You hit a couple points that I want to make sure that we emphasize. It's so common in the fitness community to deliver a workout, to deliver a training program. You want my six-pack abs, you like these abs, do my program so you can physically look like me, aesthetically look like me. So there's a lot of aesthetics, but it sounds like you're taking the approach of really digging in deep with the client, looking at the foundation of how they even got here in a very empathetic way, but getting even into the root of how they even got into the situation. How did you get into it? How did you get into this particular approach?
Right. So a long time ago, late 90s and early 2000, I was competing in martial arts in the specific discipline called the Olympic style Taekwondo. And it's under the association called WTF, which stands for World Taekwondo Federation. So I was at a point where I knew that I needed to do something for myself. And it was a calling. And I've always been in love with Bruce Lee's movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I think that martial arts at that time was a tool to help me personally develop myself. So I went into competing, studying Taekwondo. My coach said you have to compete. They put you in a ring. You have to fight among all the schools that show up within your province. This is back in Canada where Taekwondo was huge. And I realized that I lost my first fight. And I didn't lose my first fight because I was not in physical fitness shape or I didn't have the muscle mass or I didn't have the skill set. I lost that fight because I had a deep-seated rooted fear, and that fear was fear of failure. So when I went in the ring, I went in the ring in defense mode, saying that I better not lose, and guess what? I ended up losing. Versus my natural trait is I'm an offensive player, I'm an aggressive player. So when I was in practice sessions, I was winning all the sparring matches and practice drills and everything like that. But when I went on the ring, I hadn't discovered that there's a deep rooted fear. And I'd learned that day, or I thought I learned, that I kept saying to myself that I'm not good enough. And then the next day I went to my sensei, my coach, and I said, I want to quit. And he broke me down and brought me down to that core underlying fear that I lost, not because of lack of physical ability. I lost because of that deep-seated fear that I'm afraid of losing. And he said, if you lose or if you quit now, you're going to end up quitting your entire life, whether you want to be a business person, whether you want to have your own business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's on another person, another student of yours, a client of yours, where you want to pay it forward. Any battle you're going to lose in life. So I knew at that point that I wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to be afraid of fear. So I knew that if I don't go into it, I will end up carrying this load with me for the rest of my life. And I knew that I had to be the one to take the step. And my brain just changed 360. It's like an epiphany, you know?
Oh,
And then I went back in the ring after 90 days of training, and I won my gold medal. And after that, I went consecutive gold medals. You know, like it just happened. Like I had the formula dialed in.
mm-hmm.
But that 90-day period was like a massive change of lifestyle for me, for my shift. Like I stopped partying, I stopped clubbing, I stopped
Wow.
social drinking and alcohol and eating junk food. Like I went into this like I know what my mission is, and my mission is to overcome this deep-seated fear. I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I knew that this is the universe calling on me and saying, hey, you know, this is your story. It's like that story from Joseph Campbell. He's one of the great American scholars and philosophers and psych teachers and professors. And he basically wrote a book that became very famous, and you should look into it, and our audience should look into it. It's called The Hero's Journey.
Mm-hmm.
So all of us come to certain challenges in our life, and the hero in us can either rise to it or take the back seat.
Yeah.
Now, when we take the back seat, somewhere along the line, our journey is going to be called upon again. So we're going to get another challenge, another battle, another fight.
Mm-hmm.
And when we overcome that, we go on to the next phase along that hero's journey. So we all have a hero's journey within us.
Mm-hmm.
That particular time, that was my hero's journey.
Mm-hmm. I think that's amazing. It sounds like you were in a part of life where many of us are going to see challenges. We either have a choice, we either step up to the occasion, or we give up and we regress.
Mm-hmm.
And you had your coach there to remind you, not only you got to step up. There's going to be benefit, and if you don't, what persists, and you'll see this every parts of life. You can't run away from it. So I think that is an amazing journey and an amazing, inspiring story to remind people, hey, it's going to keep coming back. You have to step up. You have to take on life for what it is and go for it. In your program, it sounds like that you're going to be providing this for people as well, being that the coach was for you. Who can benefit from you? Who can benefit from your program?
So that's a good question, Nelson. Like I said before, as coaches, and you can probably relate to this, anyone that has a particular challenge, anyone that wants to get better or achieve a certain goal, whether that be weight loss or the 90-day transformation or a bride-to-be or an entrepreneur or even a salesperson who wants to vibrate at a higher frequency level so they can feel confident in front of their own customer.
Yeah.
Anyone that wants to get better, anyone that wants to get in shape, anyone that wants to transform their mindset, anyone that's going through a personal situation and they want to own their own fitness, own self, can benefit from this approach, this philosophy.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think honestly, it should be standard because we've all come across. I even come across some clients and some students where they're going through the workouts, they're going through the motions, but there's something in their space. There's something that is stopping them from feeling and going all out and being self-actualized. And you can tell. I know I can tell when someone is just they're going through the session. It's fine. Everything is fine. My day is fine. But there's something underneath that's actually stopping them from getting to their fullest potential. Sometimes it can be frustrating, but it does require a coach in that high level of EQ to really dig in deep and say, what's really going on? Once you get to that point, I know I've had that experience where it's one of the most fulfilling things to be there for someone when they feel self-actualized, they experience something they've never experienced before. What is your particular mission? What is your vision in life?
So here's the thing, right? Like we have my mission, in short, is to one day look back from my deathbed and say I've helped, impacted, and transformed a million lives. Right? Like there is some good use that I did and continue to do on this planet. It's almost like it's my duty to actually help people that are struggling through something or have the potential to be a better version of themselves, and to actually help them understand and realize that there is a formula and you can have anything you want,
Yeah.
because it's like we are born on this planet to actually keep growing and becoming better and better and better and better, because like Tony Robbins said, we only get happiness from growth, right? So if you're not growing, you're stagnating, and if you're stagnating, you're existing, and we call life via living, not existing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my vision is to help 1 million people out there that could say, Adam from ONU Fitness made a difference. He's transformed me. He's transformed my mindset. He helped me overcome something.
Mm-hmm. I think it's amazing. So there's one word that you mentioned, formula. So let's talk about your particular approach, your method. We're so used to, we know how to program proprioceptive exercise, and we move on to muscular endurance and hypertrophy. What makes you different? Your method, your approach.
So when someone comes up to me and says, I want to lose weight, like if you guys go on my social media at Instagram, own_your_fitness, or LinkedIn or Facebook, you'll see a lot of transformation pictures. But transformation happens first in the mind. So when someone comes up to me, I have an assessment, an actual conversation with them, and I ask them questions like, what is it and why is it you want to do it? So there's something called the reticular activation system. So like,
Okay.
just for our audience, I don't know if you can see this, but RAS. This is the reticular activation system. Okay. Now, let's say the reticular activation system, just to let you guys know, is the gateway for information to our brain. So I'll give you an example, right? Someone says, I want to lose weight, but I'll never get that beach body of my dreams because I just don't have that body type to do it, right? So when that person says that, I say, okay, this arrow points to I don't have the body type. Don't. We'll call that N as in negative. There's nothing wrong with negative. It's just what it is, right?
Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll say, well, have you researched on what it could take you to have that body type? So what I do is I take their script here. And what that does is that's basically stops them right there in their feet.
Yeah.
And then interrupts their thought. And they're like, well, I've done classes here and there, and I've seen videos on YouTube, and I go, well, have you done research on what it could take you to achieve that body type?
Yeah.
And they say, well, not really. So this conversation, I say, well, allow me to explain a few things to you, and I give them some facts. Okay? So those are facts.
Mm-hmm.
Now that person, after understanding the facts and me simplifying the science for them, I ask them, now do you think you can take that? You can do it? And that usually goes into a couple of options, right? A being, yes, now I know I can take it, but I can achieve it within 4 months or 5 months versus 3 months because I'm a parent and I have a full-time job on Wall Street and I have to manage my own expectations. Now the person is empowered to make their own decision and not be disempowered and saying, I just don't have the genetics.
Yeah.
Or blame it on something else. They have to take accountability. The other thing is, let's say today I was training someone on Facebook and I was teaching that person how to squat, and he's in his infancy of training program. So when he was squatting, he has a hard time shifting his hips back, puts a lot more stress on his knees, wants to build a muscle mass. You know that. You're
That's
a trainer.
difficult. That's so difficult to do online.
It's so hard.
Yeah. We're going to talk about challenges in a second, but yeah, I feel you.
Squatting is so hard. So he said, it's so bloody hard, for tall, skinny guys to squat. And I said, well, so once again, point is, you can say tall, skinny guys cannot squat. So I'll call that N. Okay? And I say, now, what if I said tall, skinny guys can squat provided you practice, repeat, and improve the form and adjust it according to your body type. That means there's a squatting version for everyone. You know that as a trainer.
Yep.
Right? So wider feet, shift your hips back, lead with the hips back. But think about it. The word lead means you have to actually first lead with the hips going back. And what does that require to think? You have to think with the hips going back. So I said, start thinking with the hips going back and stop saying that you're going to be a tall, skinny guy who's not able to squat. Because if you keep saying that, you will always be that tall, skinny guy unable to squat. What you need to do is script your mind and say hips back, hips back, hips back, knees back, knees back. And what you're going to do is build your confidence physically that you can squat. And you already know this. Nelson, when we combine thought activating movements with neuromuscular connecting exercises like squatting, push-ups and stuff like that, when we say it, it goes deeper into our emotional system. Right? So like, for example, if I go for a run hard, or if I start doing curls, if I say strong, so my brain and my body will respond in harmony. That means my muscles will respond faster and harder. If I say, I feel like crap today, man, I'm so weak today, that muscle will slow down. That means the thought is what controls the muscle and the strength of the muscle. And there's a really good book on it by Dr. Hawkins called Power versus Force. Really good book. So that's really the approach I take. I try to get deep into their psyche first, because I know from firsthand experience for all the people that I work with that if you don't work on the mindset and the psyche, that person will quit. Because what's happening now with another example, with a lot of COVID-19 situation, and you know, God willing, the situation will get better. What I'm hearing is that I can't work out at home. I don't have a job. I have to flip the script. You know that. You know that, Nelson.
I hear that all the time.
And what I said was 2 options. No workout, once again, and yes, workout at home, provided we do the best we can and manage your expectations. Now, you might not be able to do curls and pull-ups, but you can do squats, lunges, push-ups, bridges, burpees. You can do everything else. So my goal is, and this is where my background in leadership, where I got my degree in Fordham University in New York, I learned a lot about being a leader situationally. That means you have to be a situational type leadership, which means there's no fixed formula. You have to adapt to your client, and you have to adapt to the thoughts that come. Right? So in martial arts, when I was competing, I started winning because I didn't go with the thought of defense or offense. I just went with, I have a plan. I have a goal. The goal is I'm going to do my best and I'm going to win. But the formula took care of itself because I was just attached and focused on my long-term goal, which is I'm going there to do the best and I'm going there to win, and I'm on offense. But the body started handling that because, as I demonstrated to you, if you speak positive words, your muscle responds more. If you're negative, your muscle is not going to be. It's going to be a weaker muscle. Same thing with human body, human movement.
I think
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. You hit on so many things I need to piggyback on. The thoughts. First, let's talk about thoughts. So as long as that person has that mindset and even has that mental awareness of the words that he is putting out into the universe and actually saying, that sets precedence and that sets context for your body. And there's actual studies that will show there is correlation between the context of your thoughts and your actual health and the way that your body moves and the cellular function of the body. I remember when I was getting trained and I was being coached by another personal trainer on the quality of my deadlift. So yes, when you're doing deadlift, a lot of the times we're focusing on how much weight and keeping our back straight. But we all know that the deadlift is a full body movement. And so he kept telling me, push your tailbone back, bring your awareness over here, watch those knees. And so the immediate second that he started emphasizing the different body parts, my awareness had to shift to those body parts immediately. My core was still tight, my back was still tight, but the whole function of understanding when the verbal cues are, instantly my awareness went back to that part of the body. So it's super important for people to remember that, yes, even your whole mindset, if you're thinking about the exercise as being hard, it's going to be hard. If you think that your body's going to be ineffective in doing this exercise, it's going to be ineffective. But if you start training your mind and looking at the proper movement, you're going to perform better. In the same context, I love how you put the emphasis on, you have 2 choices. When you're working out at home is not everyone's ideal scenario for staying fit right now. But you have
Right.
a choice. You can either not work out, or you can still be committed to health and wellness. Which one are you going to choose? And it's as simple as that. Everything else is going to fall into place, and you can do body weight exercises, online videos. There's so many options. So yeah, I love everything you said. Now, when we're coaching online, we even hit about it a little bit. Even coaching a person proper form via online, that's one of some challenges that you have in your field. What are other challenges that you experience?
So the other challenge is staying staying on the path. So like you yourself might have noticed this in with your clients, that someone signs up for personal training and coaching, someone signs up to improving their physique, improving their mindset, improving their health.
Yeah.
Now they're on a good track for about 6 weeks, 7 weeks, and then something happens. That's again
Yes.
the universe testing them, saying, "Are you really, really sure you're committed to
Yes.
staying on your path? Because I'm going to test you." And that
Mhm.
test often comes up in the form of like, "I have a deadline. I have a new project. Now I'm going to be out for 3 weeks." Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Can we downsize the frequency of the training sessions and maybe do like 2 instead of 3? Okay, well, I have to, my friend's having her wedding and there's a lot of wedding rehearsals and whatnot. I go, well, can you work around it? Maybe we can be flexible. I'm willing to be flexible with you. So the universe will always test you. I have an interesting story for you. The same thing can happen in entrepreneurship, and you coach entrepreneurs on finance. So let me give you an
Oh
example.
yeah.
You're going to like this one. In 2008, 2009, when the whole crisis happened, being a trainer in New York City in the downtown area, a lot of people started facing fear
Oh yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
negativity and like, what's going to happen? The world's going to end, right? So I firsthand experienced that your entrepreneurship endeavor as a coach suffers. That means more people are fearful. That means more people are not signing up. That means more people are not doing things that they want to do. And then the whole activity slows down. And I remembered saying to myself that what have I done when it hit the fan in my past life? I focused on what was going well. I focused on what I wanted to get done.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I focused on the things that I could control. So I started upping my quality of sessions. I started, delving myself into psych development and personal development. And I transferred all that to my clients. And my clients got better results during that time than prior to that. And in 2015, I was not on social media. I was learning. I didn't even know. Like, I'm the kind of guy, I come from the generation, I don't know how old you are, but I come from the generation where I used to meet clients on the gym floor.
Mm-hmm.
And if they come to me, I used to go to them. I said, let me help you get a better workout. Let me fix that form of yours. You're going to hurt your knee. Now, with the whole social media thing, the game is different. The younger trainers don't have to say a word. They don't have to work on their rapport building. And they're
Yeah.
just on Instagram and Facebook, and they've figured out the whole digital media, and people come to them.
Yeah.
So I knew in 2015, after 5 of my clients that went back to where they were from. One went to Germany, one went to UK, one went to MBA school, and they all had life changes.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, what can I learn from this? So what I learned from that is I'm good with meeting people in person. That's the generation I came from. But I'm not good with social media, and I have to understand the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I started developing content. I started learning about Instagram, and I started learning about Facebook. And I just recently got on LinkedIn. I'm pretty fairly new to LinkedIn, and then Google and whatnot. And now people are starting to come to me on Google and on the internet, reading my reviews and seeing my transformation pictures. So I stepped up my game from there. And
Mm-hmm.
now, because of the current situation that's going on right now, I'm taking the time to up my game and really putting some valuable content out there for people and my clients, and really understanding what it takes to go in the psyche even deeper. So I'm working on some personal projects and writing a book and some valid content out there and everything. So I think I've learned a long time ago and a few times in my life already that crisis is what's going to take us to the next level. So now I know that my reticular activation system is functional and functional in my favor.
Uh-huh. That's awesome. What I hear is we've taken a situation, things that are beyond our control, the economy, anyone, the pandemic. This is well beyond our control. We can stay safe, but we can only be responsible for what's within our realm of control. What I also hear you say is that during these times, there are actual opportunities to invest your time and your money into developing who you are as a person, in terms of career, what to do with your life going forward. Let's talk about your investment journey. So you mentioned some of the projects that you're currently working on right now. What else can we expect from Adam?
So, someone like you who's educating younger personal trainers on financial literacy, I own a small, very small, minuscule, but profitable real estate portfolio. It took me some failures and some successes for me to get to that level. I've also had some failures too, and I learned from the failure. I lost money, the lessons I had were amazingly valuable. I'm also learning about the stock market, and I'm also learning to figure out, as I coach my clients online on FaceTime, on Zoom and whatnot, in coming up with the most effective 30-minute workout session for anyone out there. Traditionally, as you know, the PT model is that we do 60-minute, 1-hour sessions, and then, now we do 30-minute HIIT classes, 35-minute HIIT class. But now I'm working on like the ideal, the best, most efficient 30-minute PT session.
Nice.
That's what I'm working on now. And, it's been great. Like I really am taking this opportunity because I want to be the kind of person that looks back a year from now, whenever the situation goes back to normal, that I took the situation by the neck and squeezed the lemon as much as I could.
Yeah.
And freaking rode on it,
Yes.
and provided, knock on wood, staying healthy.
Yes. Well, Adam, you are accomplished and you have so much under your belt. You have to choose one thing. One. What are you most proud of?
Oh, wow. Man, that's a tough question, Nelson.
Yeah, for someone as decorated as you, what?
I'm most proud of my self-awareness. Like I was going to say, I'm most proud of like the challenges that I went through, my own heroic journey of becoming and following the passion that I had. Like I always knew I wanted to do something which would be around personal development. Like I always say, it's got to be around personal development. It's got to be around the health of people, and it's got to be something that includes mindset. I just didn't know how to specifically vocalize it. I just knew that the feeling was there. But I would say I would say I'm very proud of my self-awareness, my ability to be aware of my own thoughts, my own dialogue, my own belief system. It's almost like I have two heads going on, like my functional head where I'm having this conversation with you, and I'm aware of the thoughts that are going on. And I can flip the script on my thought anytime I want.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really proud of that, because I think when I'm down, I rely on that.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
And I think people need to do that. Like there is two dialogues going on when you want to hit the cookie jar. The one is like, man, it's been such a rough day at the office. I want to go grab. I can't wait. I'm just gonna binge on Netflix. The other one is like, yeah. Are you temporarily saying yes for temporary gratification, and are you okay with feeling guilty and crappy tomorrow? If you're okay with feeling guilty and crappy tomorrow, then that's a viable, self-accountable decision you've made.
Yes.
If you're not okay with it, then you're the one that keeps going down that track, and you're the one that's responsible for your happiness. I'm okay with either decision, as long as the self-awareness is there. Like I actually want people to tell me I'm okay with feeling guilty and crappy tomorrow.
Yes. One last question, and it's a doozy. We got to leave our audience with something that is that they can walk away with. If you can give them one life lesson that you want everyone to know, what do you recommend? What do you suggest?
Easy. I want people to ask themselves,
Mhm.
Is what I'm thinking, is it serving me to what I want to achieve in life
Mhm.
and what I want to do and my personal goals? Or is it denying me and stopping me from getting there?
Mm.
That's it. That's the easiest question. Like, is what I'm about to do or I'm about to think is what I'm thinking is what I'm thinking serving me
Mhm.
to achieving my lifelong goals that will make me happy,
Mhm.
or is it gonna get in the way of my happiness? See, as we all mature and age and get older, we're gonna look back decades from now, Nelson, if we're still in touch, and we're gonna look back and like, what do I regret? What am I proud of? Those are going to be two common questions, right?
Mhm. Oh,
So
absolutely.
question is in the future, like in the future Adam self or in the future Nelson self, you know, okay, am I okay with my regrets?
Yeah.
That's another question because
Mhm.
everyone wants to talk about their successes,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So as a trainer and a coach, I always say, will you regret not making that decision towards yourself? See, it's flipping the script.
Yes. I think it's an incredible approach, and it can reveal a whole lot about a person on a deep rooted level, which resonates in all forms, in all facets of life. So I think it is an incredible approach. Adam, thank you so much for your time today. Where can listeners find you?
So Instagram, own underscore your underscore fitness. Facebook,
Mhm.
own your fitness. My logo is the lion logo,
Nice.
and LinkedIn, own your fitness. Adam Dare, own your fitness, and the internet. Just Google own your fitness, and my website will pop up. Ownyourfitness.net to be exact.
Awesome. Perfect. Adam, again, once again, thank you so much for your time. You're an incredible leader, a very thought provoking, inspirational personal trainer, entrepreneur, businessman, all around wonderful guy. Thank you again.
Thank you, Nelson.
And have a great day.
You too.